Hey there everyone, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new video. Today I'm going to be using new products from Simon Says Stamp's Sunny Vibes release, and I thought I would make something a little bit different, more on the modern side with some bright bold colors. And one of the products that I'm going to be using today is the brand new Bold Brights Color Blend Cardstock Pack, which I actually designed for Simon. So I'm really excited to use these. I've used these already in another video, which I will link to here on the top right corner of your screen. So today's card is going to actually be using the color blends to stencil on top of. So these are the color blends that I'm going to be using, and this is the stencil that I've chosen. It's called the Wonky Chevron. And I do want to show you all of the different color options that you get inside of this color blend pack. So you've got lots of bright, happy colors, and I'm going to use this blue and purple sheet to do my stenciling. I've also picked out this really cool paste from Crafter's Companion. It's got this purpley, blue, and pink color combination, almost a holographic type of effect, but it's got a really nice rich color too. So I'm taping my Wonky Chevron stencil to my paper, and I'm using very, very low tack tape for this. And then I'm using that paste to apply through the Wonky Chevron. Now the reason I chose this particular paste is because it went well with the colors on this particular sheet of paper, but you could use another sheet of paper and then a color of paste that you prefer to go over top. But check this out. It looks so cool on top of this gradient of color, but then we also have that glossy finish on the paper too, which adds an elevated touch to this paper. It looks really, really neat to have that design on top. Now I'm going to add a sentiment to this card, and I'm going to use the new I Hope You Smile Today greeting. It's a die set that has the shadow layer, which I use the shadow layer to cut a window into my panel. And I actually cut it on an angle, and then I'm letting a very small portion of it hang off the edge. So this is kind of a very modern look to this card. I really like the fact that the greeting is on an angle. It adds some movement. And so I'm using some foam tape on the back side of this to attach that onto my A2 card. This is a top folding card base. Now the sentiment itself, I'm going to die cut from some colored cardstock. This is the blue violet color from Simon. I'm die cutting this 3 times from this cardstock, and then I'm going to stack each of these pieces together to form a more dimensional sentiment. And to adhere them together, I am using craft tacky glue. And then I'll use those individual pieces to stack upon each other to create a more dimensional sentiment. Now I do want to call out the word smile in this sentiment because I do want to add also a smiley face to the card at the end. So to create that effect, after stacking all of my pieces together, I'm actually going to die cut that sentiment one more time, but this time from some dull pink cardstock. And with my Tim Holtz recoil snips, I'm going to go ahead and carefully cut that word smile out from the greeting. So this way I can glue the pink colored word of smile on top of my blue sentiment, and that's going to give me this really great call out. So I used some craft tacky glue to add some adhesive just to that word, and then I'll take my little pink pieces and glue them on top. Don't forget the dot of the I because it is there, and I did very carefully cut that out as well. And once my sentiment is complete, I can then go ahead and glue the whole thing onto my card. I just love how that greeting is so bold with this card on that fun angle. It adds a really great touch of interest and some movement to the card. And this is where I decided to add the smiley face. So this is a new stamp set. It's actually from the Simon Says Stamp July card kit. And I'm going to use that color blend cardstock and a circle die to cut out a circle. So that gives me a fun place that I can actually stamp one of the smiley faces from the stamp set on top. And to stamp on this cardstock, you either want to use something like a StazOn ink or embossing ink and embossing powder. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use some embossing ink to stamp that smiley face on top of my circle. And then I'm going to use some white embossing powder to sprinkle over top. Then I can heat set that, and that'll give me that really nice, fun smile on top of this piece that's going to look super cool on top of our card. Now I do want to add a little notch to the bottom here so that way it fits nicely around my sentiment. So to create that, I'm going to just figure out where I want to die cut into my smiley face with the shadow layer that I used to create the greeting. And then that way I can have that really nice clean finish around the sentiment. I did pop that smiley face on top of my card using a bit of foam tape for some extra dimension. And then that's going to do it. This card is pretty clean and simple, but it's really bold. It has some great features that stand out really well on it, from the bold design to the fun holographic paste, and then those really great happy colors really make this card a unique piece. So I hope you were inspired by it. Definitely check out the products that I used to make this card. You could use those color blend cardstocks and pick a different set of colors. You don't have to use pink and purple like I did. You could use any of the other sheets to create this same effect on your cards. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for coming by and spending time with me today. I hope this card made you smile, and I will look forward to seeing you again very soon with more to share.